Good evening. Day 2 of making content for YouTube. Affirmations, the law of attraction, manifestation. There's a lot of stuff going around about this kind of stuff. And believe it or not, I've messed with it a lot and a lot of variations of it. For this past 6 years, I've been studying into it. I did one study on it, and to see if you could make some serious blatant change against something that you obviously could not change. It was something that Tony Robbins had said. Tony Robbins had said something about, affirmations don't work or something pertaining to that or whatever. Because he said you can say there's no weeds in the garden and there's no weeds in the garden. And if there's weeds in the garden, that's not going to make them happen. That's not going to make them not be there. And yeah, blatantly at that angle, that's true. So what I set out to do is I did a 52-week study. And I still have the notes on it too. It's pretty cool. But anyways, every day and every week for 52 weeks, I did this thing to where there was this person that I did not respect or like, that type of person. And I kept saying, and I kept doing these affirmations on it every day, just a little bit, just a couple of minutes, and I would just write it down and say it a few times. I think I did it 3 times is what I would say it. I would repeat it 3 times, say it like out loud 3 times, and write it down 1 time. It was something like that. But anyways, I did that every day, saying that this person is awesome. I love this person. And you know what? At the end of 52 weeks, the things that I didn't like about that person, they were still there. But did you know what? By doing that, it's like it kicked something in my brain to where it forced me to find what I actually loved about that person. And they did have an attribute that I truly loved. So anyways, that is the thing on that. But also there's another warning. There's potential problems with affirmations and stuff, and using those sleep affirmations, because they say that's the most pliable place to be planting them seeds when you're sleeping, or the 2 best places. They say, I'm not sure, I'm still studying this, I'm only 6 years into it, is right when you're falling asleep and right when you wake up. That few minutes of waking up and that few minutes of falling asleep, those 2 places, that's where you can plant some seeds into the subconscious. And what that is belief. It just creates a belief, because that's how, we all do whatever we believe we can do. And if we have a strong belief that we can't do something, we won't even try. So it's belief. It's belief that has to be built. Belief has to be cultivated. So this is what I would recommend. Do the sleep affirmations, I'm a millionaire, I'm rich, I'm abundant, I'm all this, and just do it over and over and over and over, and watch what starts happening to your brain. And you'll start reaching for things you've never been at. You'll be trying to do these crazy quantum leaps that make no sense whatsoever. You'll be trying to tie together multi-million-dollar deals and not have any fucking clue. Excuse my French. Let me back the truck up. You won't have any clues what you're doing. It's like you'll be able to cast the vision or the desired results, but you have nothing about the plan or the strategy whatsoever. And then when people call you on your stuff, the people that are on the top of the food chain, you basically just crumble and melt right there, because you got nothing to back it up with, but you've got that belief. And that's what I would say, this stuff is real in that manner, because what it does, when you reach for stuff before you're ready, don't get ready, reach for it first. And when you reach for those things first, and you fail, and you will, and there will be some epic fails. You'll make an ass of yourself, definitely. And when you do, things will come into view that you have never seen before. You'll start thinking in ways you've never thought before. You'll start feeling about things the way you've never felt before. And the law of attraction, manifestation, they kind of like go hand in hand, writing autosuggestions. Autosuggestions, basically is, talking yourself up, giving yourself pep talk. That's the first time I seen it, was the autosuggestions first. And that's what really started kicking everything off in 2018. It was Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich. And I did that book for a whole year, every day for a year. And then I was off and running. And I haven't stopped. But I've had a lot of failures. I've lost a lot of money. I've had a lot of epic fails. And you know what? But I'm learning. I'm learning. I've learned a lot of little micro lessons, a lot of little micro fails, a lot of little micro tries with online businesses and stuff. And it's like it's starting to really come into something. It's so weird. It's like I started at this one point, 2018, made a big O circle, 2019, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, hit all these failures, setbacks, learned things were looking up, and then they crashed, and then they looking up, and then they crash, and then they go away crash. And bam, now I'm circled right back right back to the very beginning where I started. It's like what the hell? It's like I just did a big freaking loop, and like I'm running right back at square one. And even more broke than I was that I begin with. Now I got debt. And I'll tell you how I got debt. Last year and the year before, it's like I had this attitude. It's like, well, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and grab a couple of loans here and there, and I'm going to do this and do that. And had all those things up and running. And it's like it doesn't matter. I'll be making money online. We'll be selling some products, get into some e-commerce and stuff like that. And I'll pay it back easy. Well, no. But this last one was a kicker. Last year, that was an epic fail. That was an epic fail because... Let me back the truck up. In 2018, at the end of 2017, I had realized I lived my entire life and never thought about anything that I wanted out of life or wanted to be. Not once, never. Just lived an entire life of being just alcoholic addict, smoking cigarettes, 33 freaking years, drank alcohol heavily over 20 years. Smoked weed heavily for over 20 years. I think I went 20 years smoking weed. I never missed a single day. Every freaking day. Smoke a big fatty in the morning, big fatty at lunch, big fatty after work, big fatty in the evening. A lot of weed smoking for like 20 years. Then there was a lot of other drugs in there too, crystal meth and shit and opiates. That's when it really got bad, real bad. But anyways, make a long story short, at that time in my life, I was just so disgusted with my life and just everything I'd been around and just the way the little bitty crystal meth hick towns I'd been around and grew up in all my life and all that. I was just disgusted with it. Just sick of it. Sick of myself, sick of all that. Sick of all of it lacking integrity, character, honesty. I mean, honesty is like just beyond gold and diamonds, because if you can find somebody that's just straight up, it's like it's extremely rare. But anyways, getting kind of off track there. So fast forward back into the manifestation and the law of attraction. That stuff is very, very, very real, but not like it's not like in the way like people think. I mean, it's not like you just think up stuff and you just say it and you write it and you do these mantras or these chants or whatever and poof, there it is. No, it's like the universe will like start giving you little hints and little clues here and there and little snippets and little tidbits, and you got to piece it all together. It's like the spirit of the universe magically will make these things come about that you would never see or never even think of. But you got to be awake. You got to be awake. You got to be awake every day. You got to be focused. You got to be looking for it. You got to be asking for it. And you start finding these clues. And you know what? At this point, I look at this big loop that I did, and I came right back to damn square one. I'm glad things didn't work out. Because you know why? Because if things would have worked out the way I wanted them to, with getting some products patented, utility patents, and start selling those and getting the royalties off that and stuff, and getting the writing out there and getting the royalties off my copyright material. If all that first stuff, if all that would have worked out, and I wouldn't have had all those epic fails. And a lot of those epic fails were due to me self-sabotaging because of my subconscious criteria didn't believe. But anyways, I'm kind of glad it didn't work out. And the reason being, because I didn't have everything ironed out enough, in my opinion, out of my mind, all the bad things, bad habits, alcoholic habits, cigarette smoking habits, the drug habits. That's just to name a few, and they're just such selfish things, and that's not how life works. We're supposed to be giving, contributing to our families, friends, community, to the world. That's how we're built. We're not supposed to be built to be like take. But yet, that's what most of us do. And I'm not just talking about alcoholics and addicts now. I'm talking about a pretty good portion of just the way life is. I mean, we're just naturally selfish creatures. But anyways, having said that, this year of 2025, it's going to be clean up the debt, first and foremost. Keep writing. Of course, I can't imagine not writing. And things are going to accelerate. They're going to really accelerate because I'm repositioned right now. I'm repositioned right smack in the middle of Bentonville, Arkansas. This is like ground zero of the United States of America. The Walton families, Walmart's, one of the biggest retailers in the world. I mean, I'm positioned literally right smack in the middle of all these people and their mindsets. And they're all entrepreneurs. They're all about business. They're all about making new things and new ideas. They're artistic. It's just unbelievably a great honor to be right smack in the middle of these people. And I'm assuming, I know that energy begets energy. I do know that. And if you get around the right people that's liking the same things you like, that energy adds up. It builds. So anyways, is law of attraction real? Yes, absolutely. Is manifestation real? Yes, absolutely. Is miracles real? Yeah, absolutely. Is do auto-suggestions work in affirmations? Yes, absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt. But it's just not like what people think. And it is in some ways, too. It can be. It really can be. But I think, for one thing, a person has got to start really hacking on their belief, their subconscious beliefs, and what was programmed in their mind throughout their early childhood, their late childhood, their early teenage days, their late teenage days, their early 20s, their late 20s. You kind of see where I'm going with this. So you got to really, really dig deep and really dig deep and see what you really think about it, because the subconscious speaks to us in feelings, not in words. It shoots feelings into us to prompt us to act and be a certain way. And that's a whole nother topic for another thing. We're at about 15 minutes, and that's going to be the rule, 15-minute videos. We've got 20 seconds. So anyways, I've kind of gone blind on the situation where the line is in between the law of attraction and manifestation and those two things. because they've all merged into one thing. It's belief, belief, belief. And that's the timer going off. That's 15 minutes. See you in the funny papers.